Usually on the gross area of the building is about 1,000 square feet. Most of our houses, our size is about the same. Of course, as time goes, there probably could be inflation and the price of the houses may go up. Assuming today you buy a house there at 160, it could be 175 the year after or 2 years later. The size may vary due to the prices as well. And of course, Kedah or non-Kedah, we are open, but whoever, and this is a commitment from PDB to allow anyone who needs one house, one Malaysia.
Alright. Beside Kedah, is there any next target location to build the affordable homes?
We don't have a specific state to go. As I mentioned earlier in my speech, Bank Negara issued a statement that there is 1 million people who need affordable housing the whole nationwide. Even if I'm able to build 20,000-30,000 of houses in Kedah, it's only 2 to 3% of what is needed nationwide. And building affordable housing it cannot be done overnight. So we don't have a specific area, but we realize that the demand is all over Malaysia. So wherever that landowners come by for joint venture or for sale, and there is a demand in the area, we welcome that. I think Raj, I forgot to answer about the 1 billion target. I remember now, sorry. Yes, we are still certain that we are able to achieve it. On the year-to-year growth, as I told you earlier on, this year's growth will be mainly from Tapa. Sorry.
Thank you for your questions. Thank you, Doctor, for the answer. We have a question virtually. I'd like to direct it.
With this pandemic, a lot of SMEs have been affected. We all know that. We do have a lot of our subcontractors and our suppliers who were SME. Those days when we were building 200 to 300 houses or 300 to 400 houses in a year, we have our partners or our subcontractors or our suppliers who are only supplying them. As time grows, we also grow and they also grow with us. Of course, if the SME came by on the first level, first time, we will usually give a smaller portion of our project because not many SMEs can immediately take up such a big volume. But we welcome any SME to come and join us. The most important thing is the efficiency of the cost. Yeah, if everybody can understand that we are building affordable housing, we are very cost sensitive. So if the SMEs are willing to join us and go on that direction, we welcome more SME to join us. Yeah, market competency is there and healthy competition is very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Dato'. I'd like to field the questions for Tuan Iskandar.
Beautiful houses and the brand that's known in Kedah. So we feel that when we do this together, it will create a certain level of confidence amongst the buyers, and hopefully, I think the acceptance of our product will be very good amongst the market. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuan.
Thousand population. Every secondary town people population need housing. And in Sungai Petani, I'm sure there will be newlyweds, new parents who need housing, and due to COVID, living together with 3 generations under one roof, there is actually a spike in demand during the pandemic. So secondary towns should not be ignored, should not be put aside. That is important. There will always be a new demand. For example, let's say if there's 500,000 people in Sungai Petani, if every year there is only 1% of growth, it means 5,000 people will need housing. Only 1%. So which is very small number, a very conservative number. And talking about houses in Penang, Sungai Petani is only 1 hour away from Penang. There has been a lot of migrants or probably people who actually migrated from Penang to retire in Kedah. Reason, of course, being affordability in Penang. If you go to the mainland of Penang itself, high-rise are actually starting price about 400,000, which means the average installment is 2,000 ringgit per month onwards. Bear in mind, housing installment is not something you pay for 1 month or 1 year. Usually you stretch it to 30 years. For a person who's start working at 25 years old, they retire at 55, paying the whole house installment. We need to make sure the installment is actually something that doesn't affect their whole life or their expenses too, or burden them too much, especially for a new or first house buyer. Alright, you want to add something?
Just like to add something more. The location of Redefining is actually in the center between Alostar and Serangkai. I think for a lot of people who live in KL, they think it's far when you mention 40 kilometers. But I used to live in KL, now I'm in Kedah. For me to go from Alostar to Serangkai is practically about 25 minutes. And from Serangkai, if I were to go to Batu, it's another 25 minutes. So imagine that it's actually faster for me to go from my house in Alostar to Serangkai than for me to go from my house in Laut to KLCC. Although the distances are great, but since the traffic is very light, so it's actually it's still practical for you to buy a house in Serangkai and work either in Batu, the industrial area, or even work with the government or school in Alostar. And we see a lot of people doing that. The other reason why Serangkai is attractive is because that is almost like a commercial center of Kedah. So Serangkai has a younger population, therefore you have more opportunities in terms of more options in terms of food, entertainment, shopping. There's a lot more in Serangkai. So we feel that there's a lot of potential for Serangkai to develop houses there. And of course, having said that, we are also actively looking to look at other developments, and we will discuss on the agenda as well as to which other areas that we can
So maybe
A lot of construction costs, because there's a lot of construction. What we are building is a single-story terrace house landed. Most of our cost is on land. The cost of construction is minimal compared to a high-rise. So the rise of raw building material does not affect us much. Let me put an example, steel bar. For a single-story terrace house, it only requires us about 1 ton of steel bar. So 1 ton of steel bar was about $2,000. Now it's almost $3,000. So it means that there's an increment of a couple of hundred or less than 1,000 ringgit of raw material increase in steel bar. But bear in mind, over the number of years, steel bar price has also dipped below 2,000. So you average it up, actually, it's like the CPO price of plantation. It is just an average 2,000 plus year to year, if you calculate. And construction and development is a long-term game. It's not these 3 months, if it goes up, it affects us badly. And like I said, I like to reiterate that the most important thing is our raw material used in construction is very low because we're building single-story terrace house mainly.
thank you for the explanation, Dato'.
According to the land title, is a freehold land. So we are developing a affordable township on a piece of freehold land. And in terms of the surrounding area being highlighted by Chief Haris as well as Dato' G, Sungai Petani is a so-called developed area. So it being comprised nearby with industrial area, and from Sungai Petani to Kulim also not so far. We got the Kulim High Tech there. I think it's a national project, Kulim High Tech. So then the development is Sungai Petani. I think currently there are a lot of major players coming there. So it shows that in terms of the potential of Sungai Petani, there will always be there for us to explore. I think the opportunity what we are looking right now, which segment or which target market we wants to target. I think highlighted by Dato' Jimmy, for the township, I think it's a good move for us to start looking on it and planning on it for Sungai Petani.
What is the distance to Kulim?
30 minutes.
Oh, 30 minutes, okay. I think there's one part of the question that which asked, will there be
If I can, in a first our MOU previously, we mentioned clearly that when we build up the housing affordable township, so there is a commercial area we are looking on it. This is under planning stage. That will be informed later. But in general, yes, there is a commercial area. It's part of the township.
Thank you, Tuan Iskandar, for your question. I think there's two more that we can.
In underserved secondary towns like Setiawan, we are launching 2,000 units in Setiawan itself on a year-to-year basis. This is our 5th year. We have sold more than 8,000 units. We are expecting to sell another 2,000 units in Setiawan. And Setiawan has a population of 200,000 people. Teluk Intan has a population of 200,000 people. We also sold 2,000 units in Teluk Intan itself. And going on to Sungai Petani. Sungai Petani has almost 500,000 population. We do not expect the numbers of take-up rate to be lesser than the first 2 towns in Perak.
Thank you, Dr. Jimmy. I just want to add on to
Deny that we will be in Klang Valley or in Selangor or nearby one day. But currently, we feel that, Lagenda really feel that there are 62% of Malaysian population outside of Klang Valley and Penang City that also need attention and need homes. There are a lot of states all over Malaysia who are not getting enough attention from the major developers. As I mentioned, towns like Sungai Petani or Setiawan or Teluk Intan, even though they are only 200,000 to 500,000 population, if on a year-to-year basis, 1% growth is a few thousand people who need housing on a year-to-year basis. But they are very lack of attention from the major developer. So my main target, or Lagenda's main target currently, is to serve the underserved. We may go to Klang Valley one day, but this is not our priority because 90% of the developers are already in Klang Valley. I think the people in Klang Valley can be rest assured that there are people serving.
Thank you, Dr. Jimmy, but we're still waiting for you, potentially with BTB as well, for the day to come. Having said that, I'd like to open the floor again